Here we go, moldings part 2. You can see our finished moldings here. Linda took and verified them over the last year since we started this project. Ever enthusiastic Josh is ready to go.
Yep.
So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these upstairs and installing them. We're going to need a few tools. Like we're going to need a nail gun. And as you can see, it's pretty dusty because it hasn't been used for maybe 3 years or so. So the first thing we're going to do is take and blow it off with the compressor, just to get rid of any stuff that might get inside of it. Alrighty, so here we go. Just get all that extra air out of there, all the dust. For those of you who haven't had your first compressor yet, look at the difference between the cheap plastic hose, which I have to treat it very well or else it'll crack on me, and it also doesn't roll up very nicely. And over here we have rubber hose, and this rubber hose is over 20 years old. I used it when I was building the cottage, and it's been dragged all over the place, and it's in great shape. So if you're going to invest in a hose, invest a few extra dollars in the rubber hose because it'll way outlast the plastic ones. Alright, you can see how they come together now. I've seen quite a few pros that will miter this joint so that they come together nicely, but first of all, we're not dealing with industrial quality moldings that are all exactly the same, and you would need a whole bunch of sanding, so the pre-finishing wouldn't work out. Let me see, it came up a tiny bit short. It was actually a tiny bit long, and then I had Josh go down and cut another little piece. So to put this in, you're going to want to have this lined up first. You want to turn on the compressor again, Josh? It's on? Okay. There we go. And then, sure it's the switch? Yeah, it's down? Okay. Okay, because it didn't seem like we had very much. Well, there's only one more nail we're going to put in. Alrighty, you can see how our boards come together here, which isn't very good. And a lot of people would just miter these two corners and put them together, but that's not up to the standards that we did here. You can see all these corners are mitered here, and it takes quite a bit of work, but it's at the very end, it's finished perfect. So, my dad had a very nice tool that I couldn't find. It was just a piece of board, and we're going to use a compass here. And draw along. And down, trying to keep the compass level. Sometimes I have to do this 2 or 3 times to get it right. Let's see, I've got a good enough. Just have to make it a little bit darker. Okay, so now this time, normally you would take a coping saw and cut that, and that's never really worked for me. And I've tried lots of other things. We're going to try something new today and see how well it works out. Hopefully my line has worked out well. If not, we're going to have to do this. Alright, what I'm going to use here is my Fordham rotary tool. And you can see on the floor there, it has a variable speed, so it's kind of like a dentist drill. with, I've got a very aggressive bit on there with some sandpaper in there. It does very good pedicures. What I usually use it for is sculpting my little bandsaw boxes like this. But we'll see how it's going to work on this. If it works great, then it'll be a great tool. If not, we'll go to something else. Okay, now we need the mark down. And okay, let it go on the ground. Out of that drawer, there's a pencil. We're going to make it a little bit darker yet. Yeah, that's good. Carpenter's pencil. We'll darken it up even more so when the sawdust starts flying, I can still see the line. So we'll see how quickly I can make this come off. Very easy to dimension your hand, so you want to be careful with this. Okay, that's not very quick. I think we're going to be using that for finishing. You can see my line there. And what I've gone back to is my scroll set here. I usually set it at an angle, but you can see it doesn't set it. So the angle's not going to do very good anyway. I'm going to go leave the line as I make the cut, or attempt to leave the line. This is pretty dangerous, whereas what I'm doing to the wood I could do to my hand. It seems to be working fairly good. We'll see when we get upstairs. Okay, here's our final profile here, and here's what I took off and back, and that rotary tool is a great help in backing it off. I know you pros can kind of do that with a miter saw, not a miter saw, a coping saw, but I'm not very good at that. So if you put it in place, it fits quite good enough. just a little bit of black that you can see here, but I think that's good enough. Now, if you want to hand me the other end here, Josh, we're going to have a little issue here with this part of the end fitting properly and tight to the floor. So we're going to take that off. I'm going to get Josh to put that off. And about right here. And this is the waist side, so your blade goes on this side of the line. So I'm going to show you down. So this is what our joint is going to look like. We're out of bullets. Okay, so Josh is going to put the rest of these in. About every 2 feet. And push in tight like I showed you before. Good. About 6 inches in from there. Okay, now let's have a look at the next piece we're going to put in. You choose which one we're going to do next. That one? Okay. So this end, actually, we need a pencil. Here's our deer. That is probably the one called Buddy. Okay, you want to take this one off square about here. Let's look at the other end. Now, you see how that comes in there?
Yeah.
We want to get rid of that. So take that off square here.
Okay.
And remember about getting this all
Yeah.
yeah. So you can see the nice joint we have here, even without mitering. When I put my first nail in, I can level it off even better so that they're totally even. So we're going to have a little bit of space at the top there, but that's okay, because we have spaces anyway. So let's see how we do here. You can finish it off. Good. A little bit further down. I just wanted to try to minimize that space if possible. It wasn't. And then just about 6 inches in from the end.